Oh my gosh. Where am I? What's that? Over there. It looks like I'm under the ocean. Man, that would be cool to learn about in science. Well, guess what? That's the next thing in science. We're learning about the ocean. Well, we won't be able to learn about all the fish and animals in the ocean until first we learn about the ocean itself. To start our study of oceanography, that's what we call the science of the ocean, we need to talk about somebody who really took his time to look at the ocean, and his name is Matthew F. Murray. Now, if you remember back at the beginning of science, way back at the beginning of the school year, we learned about 4 different reasons why God gave us science. 4 good reasons why we study science. The first reason was God has made us curious about the world around us. Okay? The second reason was God created us. He gave us minds that are able to think his thoughts after him and thus learn to understand his creation. And as we know, the ocean is his creation. 3, God gave us the ability to enjoy his world and use it wisely. And then 4, God gave us a desire to help others. Now, these 4 things that we learned at the beginning of the year as to why we learn about science definitely were things that Matthew Murray used in order to learn about the ocean. So Matthew Murray was actually born in Virginia, and he wanted to be in the Navy. And so when he was 19, he actually joined the Navy, and he became what we call a seaman. After a while, he accidentally had an accident on a stagecoach. Wasn't even when he was on a boat. And they told him that he would never walk again. So he thought that his dreams being a seaman were actually shattered. Well, after a while of reading books and things like that, he came to read, he was reading his Bible actually, and in his Bible he found the words, the paths of the sea. And so he started to think, like, the paths of the sea, what does that mean? So as he was reading his Bible and he read paths of the sea, he said, well, God always has purpose to the things he puts in the Bible, and there has to be reasons to it. So he researched it more and he wanted to figure out what paths of the sea meant. So although the Bible is not a science book, it is always true when it talks about the scientific things, just as it is true when it talks about other things. So paths of the sea definitely had to do with science. Remember, we've talked about there's a ton of science in our Bible. So Matthew Murray got the word that he could finally go back to the Navy. And so when he did, he became actually a captain. So when he was the sea captain, what he started to do was started to log things and to keep records. And one of the things that he started to watch was the wind pattern. Okay, and so as he was watching the wind pattern, he noticed that things were moving differently, and he saw that there were ocean currents as well. And he actually had some of his seamen, what they would do is they would put messages in a bottle and they would drop them, and then they would receive the message somewhere else, and then they would know that the waves were moving in different places. And so this was actually the first start of charting the different currents. So Murray actually came up with this brand new science that no one had ever done before, which we today call oceanography. So oceanography is the study of the ocean. So Murray definitely learned that the water was obviously moving and that this movement was called currents. And if you can think of a current is kind of like a river inside the ocean. It's moving in a certain direction in a certain way. And so these currents actually are bigger than most rivers. They are so huge in comparison. Okay, so the first thing you want to write down, or that you're going to write down right now, is the word current. And these are definitely paths of the sea. Well, I don't know about you, but this is getting me pretty excited about science. Look at all these awesome creatures we're going to get to learn about. We're going to learn about fish and whales and dolphins and a bunch of creatures that live in a thing called a reef. I can't even wait. Well, we have to wait a couple more days to get to the animals because first we have to learn a few more things about the ocean itself. Hopefully today got you super excited to learn about the ocean and all of these guys too.